Let's talk about it with Cami Reddy. Black women in BDSM society, BDSM subcultures, BSM culture, blah, 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 the whole shabam. I have been getting a recent surge of people, and maybe it's because of my interaction that I've been getting a recent surge of people being more upfront about what their BDSM lifestyle looks like and like answering questions about it and blah, blah, blah. I'm no Lone Ranger. I'm very, very educated on the topic, and I have my low medals that qualified me to talk about this a tad bit because I've experienced, okay. And as a black woman in the BDSM community who presented herself, I don't know why I'm talking in third person, but I presented myself as a Dami and a sub. I will say that more people felt comfortable coming to me as a Dom than a sub. And at first, I just thought I was maybe better at being a Dom than a sub. But I had another friend in the community be like, kind of reach out to me and be like, they only feel comfortable coming to you as a black woman Dom out of like a fetish. And at the time, I had ran into a couple people who would talk about and would do race play, but it was not enough for me to be on my like toes every couple of seconds. And I told my friend, I was like, no, like they're very upfront when it's race play, which I don't initiate in or do. That I was like, no way. Like they're very, very, very upfront when it's race play. He's like, no, they just feel similar to comfortable going to a black Dom because of like the stereotypes. You find a black woman when you're in danger. You find a black woman when you need something. They'll cook, go clean, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it's the stereotypes. And I was like, shit, I never thought about that. I never considered that to even be a possibility. And he was like, yeah, no. It's real, and that's why we don't see many dominant black women in the fields. And I was like, that is crazy. And then I told him, and I was like, that's probably why we don't see many subs in the field either, because they use it as a fetish to like overpower not the person that they're with, but just the race in general. And he was like, yeah, wait, you're really on something. And I was like, I damn sure am on the something. And it's crazy to think about. Like, when I think about subbing, I don't think about race or any of that. I think about who I'm subbing for and the connection. And they just don't really. And it baffles me every single time. Every time I'm baffled. But we talked about how there's, of course, the people who are like, a sub is a sub, a girl is a girl, like, I don't care. There's the race players, and then there's people who are too hesitant to have a black sub because they're concerned about it blurring the line between what is okay and what's not okay racially. And I took it a step further, and I was like, even then, you have black women who just, black women aren't the ideal sub stereotype. You want a skinny white woman, skinny white person to be your sub. No one really talks about wanting a black woman, black male, black anything as a sub. When you go and look at these forums, you look at the stories and the videos, it is purely white people pushed out. Of course, you have a couple like myself, and then there's quite a few of us, but I mean quite a few, so like 5 of us who make content in the certain community that I'm in, and I don't even make content anymore. I don't do content anymore. But when I did, I had a genuine, um, a large amount of followers because people were so shocked to see that there was a black woman in the field at all. And it's sad to me. I personally commented on a guy who has been getting a lot of traction about his BSM lifestyle, and I asked if he would ever consider using his platform to also talk about the kind of racial woes. Like, it's not just black women, it's not black versus white at all. It's pretty much white versus all POC because it's not ideal to see them in circumstances like that. And if it is, it's usually in a very, very, very dehumanizing way. You never, like, I don't see sexy black women in bondage. I don't see that, you know? I don't see, like, um, things like that. Of course, other communities have theirs, but I can only speak on one and the struggles of that.